Hi, everybody, and welcome to week 7 of EDC 420. This week, we're going to be talking about the stages of second language acquisition and exploring some English language development standards. We're going to start the week by talking about a can-do perspective and using that can-do perspective to inform the way that we approach both stages of SLA and standards for English language development. And then we will dive right into the stages. So you're going to learn about the 5 stages of SLA that have traditionally been used to understand the process of acquiring a second language. You'll get to watch a video showcasing that, and you'll be reading a chapter from our course text, the Lightbound and Spada book, looking specifically at these different developmental stages. From there, there's a lecture video where I overview the stages and give you a little bit more information about how to use them in practice. And then we move to an application activity, the first of 2 application activities, where you will be viewing 2 different videos of multilingual learners engaging with their teacher and analyzing, based on the video, what you think the learner's stage of language acquisition is in terms of their oral language development, and what the learner is able to do and what you might do to support the learner to get to the next stage of SLA. So you'll have that as a way to apply your learning around the stages. From there, we move to our next learning focus, which is the English language proficiency standards. And here we're going to talk about the resource that is used in Rhode Island and in 41 states around the country from WIDA that will help us understand how we might focus on language in our instruction to better support multilingual learners in the classroom. So I have a video that I've created where I unpack the different components of the standards, and then I give you a chance to look through the standards themselves and see how they might be useful for you in your context. I know not everybody teaches in TESOL settings, or not everybody is working with multilingual learners in an English medium of instruction setting. So I've also linked resources for world language education standards and for dual language bilingual education standards. So definitely look at those. Even if you don't teach in those areas, I think it's worth looking at them and kind of seeing what's similar and different from the WIDA ELD standards framework. But especially if that's your area where you teach, spend some time with those and think about how they might serve as a support for you as you're planning for language and teaching language. So then we have our second application activity. You're going to be looking at a set of standards from the WIDA ELD framework and deconstructing them. So I'm just going to be having you pull out pieces of the framework as you think about these different components and how they could be useful for you in your instruction. So then we'll move towards discussing and reflecting, and I'm going to have you reflect on different components of what you learned and did throughout the week. And then we close with the 2 final pieces of the course week. One is a practice quiz. So again, remember, you can take that as many times as you want up until the deadline. And it's again a chance for you to practice kind of the style of practice questions. And then very importantly, your case study, part 1, is due this upcoming Tuesday. So definitely go back and review the rubric and assignment description. Make sure that you have a clear sense for how to organize the paper. I've, again, copied and pasted that information into this week's Brightspace. And make sure you've conducted that interview or data collection experience with the learner so that you have that information and then can begin to apply some of the different SLA theories that we've learned about so far as you analyze that learner's language learning journey. So that is our week. I hope you enjoy learning about stages and the ELD framework, and please don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions as you're working on the paper and want any additional supports. Thank you.